Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to yet another packed news. It's been very chaotic. I'm trying to get through all of this. Let's get into it. I want to remind you, just 2 days left on our S20 Ultra giveaway. So if you want a chance to win one of those, fully purchased, ready to send, link down below. Also wanted to share our molds with you. As we're going through production, it's so eye-opening to understand how these machines work. It's just the most cyberpunk thing ever, seeing your product made in one of those. And Apple has officially announced WWDC. It will be going digital. For the first time ever, Apple, instead of having an event, will be holding an online worldwide developer conference. It's the responsible thing to do. And actually, Apple's been really proactive about the coronavirus outbreak. They've actually been limiting Today at Apple sessions, limiting try-ons of AirPods or Apple Watch bands. They are doing what they can. And taking a look at the official promo for WWDC, it appears to look like the back of a MacBook, and apparently we will be seeing upcoming MacBook Air and MacBook Pro models with a butterfly keyboard, according to Ming-Chi Kuo. Otherwise, really can't glean much from it. Usually from the promos, you can get a hint or two at what Apple's working at. This one seems fairly vague. So what can we expect at this event? And because of Apple's weird scheduling and cancellations, is it possibly going to be a hardware event as well, since the March event is not happening? That's official, by the way. Apple will not be holding one due to the outbreak. And the upcoming iPhone, the SE2 supposedly, has been delayed indefinitely. So my hunch is we'll be seeing it soonest at this event. Some seem to think it'll still be launched as a press release later this month. And with WWDC such a big event on its own, throwing products in there as well could be difficult, but since it is online, could work. It's unclear right now, but Apple's got a ton of Apple products to launch. Besides the software, we're looking at new iPad Pros, new MacBooks, possibly an iMac refresh, an Apple TV refresh, AirTags, of course the 4.7-inch iPhone, the supposed SE2, iPhone 9, or just iPhone, the small wireless charger that Apple is supposedly working on, and the Apple over-ear headphones. By the way, we've updated our concept, so the Beats Solo Pro just have an Apple logo on those. Those are not original, but we do have an idea of what they could look like, and we may see a design crop up here within the next week or so. Also, the new smart keyboard, we rendered that up. I think this product could look fantastic, especially since it'll be backlit and it'll have a massive trackpad, or at least a somewhat respectable trackpad coming to iPads. I'm really excited for this one. Also, regarding the outbreak, Bloomberg is reporting that all 42 stores across China are reopening today, so it's good news. The worst is behind us, and Apple's production should only be getting better for the iPhone 12 and all of their other upcoming products. So let's start with a new report by 9to5Mac, in which they've confirmed the existence of new hardware, which will be released fairly soon in the iOS 14 leaked development build. Starting with the upcoming iPad Pro, they were able to confirm that it does exist. It will have 3 cameras, and it will have the first 3D camera in an Apple device. This will be a laser time-of-flight system. It'll be produced by a supplier that worked with Apple before, and 9to5Mac was able to discover that this upcoming iPad Pro will support Apple's new AR app. They did find details about this inside the leaked iOS 14 build, and they found that Apple will be partnering with Starbucks. You'll be able to take your device, point the camera at certain objects, and get information regarding those objects, all because of that upcoming 3D sensor. That 3D sensor is actually very interesting because it'll enable your iPhone to do new things it couldn't before, such as adjustable focus in the camera application to greater degrees of accuracy and improved portrait mode, as reports Fast Company. This 3D sensor is actually a big deal. Apparently, Apple has been working on it for over 2 years, and the first device it'll be showing up on is the new iPad Pros, then of course this year's iPhone 12 Pros, and they're saying it'll appear in at least one high-end model. Previously, the top 2 models we learned will be getting the 3D time of flight. It's essentially portrait mode on the iPhone, except you can adjust the focus in post-processing to a greater degree of accuracy than ever before. And 9to5Mac was able to confirm that the 4.7-inch iPhone is happening. They were able to find details of it in the upcoming iOS 14 build, and they're saying it's likely to be released when iOS 13.4 gets released, which would be end of March, early April possibly. And they mentioned that this refreshed iPhone 8 will have support for Express Transit, which is a feature older iPhones like the iPhone 6 does not support currently, and would entice those older iPhone users to upgrade to a newer phone with the same form factor. And some details on the upcoming AirTags. 9to5Mac found that you'll be able to set them up in bulk. So if you buy like 10, 15, you'll be able to set them all up at once. And then MacRumors was able to discover a few other details, starting with the fact that AirTag is the official name. So the marketing name is AirTag. They will have a replaceable CR2032 battery inside, and there will be a lid on the back in which you'll be able to counterclockwise twist and remove and replace this battery. Props to Apple for making that removable. And an exciting prospect at the future of MacBooks, Ming-Chi Kuo has reported that Apple will be placing their own in-house built processor into a Mac for the first time in over 20 years, I believe, starting later this year or early 2021. A very exciting prospect, knowing just how powerful they are right now, just how powerful the A14 is getting. It's supposed to be on par with a MacBook Pro, and then you can imagine an A14X, which is going into this year's iPad Pro, will take that even further, more powerful than a MacBook Pro, and then a custom Apple-built processor will be even more powerful than that, and we'll be seeing it as soon as later this year or early next year. And a separate report by a former Apple executive shows us that it's theoretically possible for Apple to create an in-house processor as powerful as the Xeons in the current Mac Pro, using the technology they have right now that they built with the A-series processors. And taking the MacBook tech even further, Kuo reports that Apple will be coming out with refreshed MacBooks in 2021. So an all-new design, unclear for the Airs, for the Pros, but I think it's long overdue. The future of MacBooks is really exciting. Within 1 year, we could get Apple-made processors, a new chassis design, and mini LED. And some good news regarding the iPhone 12. Digitimes is reporting that TSMC is on track and about to begin mass production of the Apple A14 chip, which will be 5 nanometers starting in late April. So that's on track. Everything else may be in disarray regarding the iPhone 12, but the processor is the most important part, will be there. And ahead of the upcoming AirPods Pro Lite models, or the AirPods 3, Digitimes is expecting AirPods shipments to surge 50% to 90 million in 2020. It's insane just how popular these are, and it's not stopping anytime soon. And another very large and very exciting iOS 14 report by 9to5Mac in MacRumors. So I'm gonna start with this. Elon Musk is unhappy with the current state of iOS 13, saying that he's having issues with mail. This was at a satellite conference, basically calling Apple out on their BS. Now, there have been even more reports on iOS 14, starting with a very exciting new view, a new list view for iOS 14, in which if you have many apps, you'll be able to find your apps using the search function and then scrolling through them alphabetically organized, or possibly by notifications or by apps that you use most frequently. So there'll be new organization, a new list view, and just a few concepts to give you an idea of that from different sources here. Great work, everyone. And then this list view will have new Siri Smart Suggestions. So depending on the time of day or your location, you'll get recommendations. And the overall list view is apparently inspired directly from the Apple Watch. Oh, by the way, I'm using Samsung now. This watch sucks. Nothing like the watchOS. The phone may be comparable, but Samsung's Active 2, nothing like Apple Watch. 9to5Mac found that in iOS 14, Apple will be adding support for night shift for lighting. So in the morning, you can start with a cooler light, and then in the evening, it'll gradually change to a warmer, richer light. And the HomeKit secure video feature is getting expanded with facial recognition. You can set up your family members so it'll recognize their faces. And in tvOS 14, you'll be able to set HomePods as permanent audio sources on your Apple TV instead of having to beam it to them every single time. And some very interesting accessibility features coming to iOS 14, starting with a sound recognition feature where your iOS device will be able to recognize fire alarms, a door knock, a baby crying, and alert you, and it's especially useful for people that are hard of hearing. And the iOS 14 camera will now be able to detect hand gestures, another great accessibility feature, and then a feature called Audio Accommodations, which fine-tunes the AirPods experience for people with difficulty hearing. And a very exciting one is Apple is opening up wallpapers and will be adding a section for third-party wallpapers. Presumably, you'll be able to download an app and then have them appear in that section, maybe a new one every day. And in the Photos app, Apple will be adding a new section for Shot on iPhone, where people can easily compete and upload, see other people's photos for this challenge. A couple smaller features. iOS 14 will include support for Alipay in Apple Pay, and iOS 14 for the first time ever will be able to transcribe handwritten text into typed text. This is the first time on an Apple product since the Newton. And a couple exciting features possibly coming to iOS 14, reported by MacRumors. One, a retract messages feature, where like Instagram or Snapchat, if you send something, you had a mistake, didn't want to send it, wrong person, you can retract it. and a new @ system where people will have usernames for their new profiles on iMessage, and you can add them to a conversation. Just a much cleaner experience. It becomes more like the DM section in Instagram. MacRumors also reports that we'll be getting typing indicators for group chats, which hasn't been a thing for whatever reason. And 9to5Mac is reporting that Apple is adding international flags as watch faces, starting with watchOS 7. That's everything. You're updated. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.